Hey, how's it going? It's Brandon with Brandon's Bees. So we're out here today. I know we did a little bit of a video on pollen patties for stimulant. Now we're getting, if you look here over here in the weather, we're getting like high 50s, high 60s for a couple days. So my plan is not only give them pollen, now we're gonna give them some sugar syrup. So the whole point of this is now we'll have sugar syrup, pollen. We're gonna try to max out the stimulation on these for about 2 or 3 days, and then we'll follow up with that pollen patty video as far as seeing how much brood they're laying now, because again, it's February 14th. So, and we're gonna get into this colony and show you a little bit of the setup here on the sugar syrup. So if you come over here, first I'll smoke these up, smoke them a little bit. It's getting a little, it just rained, so they're gonna be a little feisty. So we'll open this up here. Perfect. All right, so if you come to the side right here, you'll see the moisture board obviously works. But again, one of my favorite hives, they're always boiling the bees. So the plan here is we're gonna take all this fondant out. And this is gonna be a pain because the girls are not gonna be happy about this. So shake them up. In 1 second, I'll smoke them up. So as you can see here, boiling the bees, they're starting to take down this fondant. They have a little bit of stores left, but not a ton. So I'm hoping to stimulate them, add about 5 to 10 pounds, and then this will be good for them. So here, as you can see, taking off all this fondant. I'm not gonna shake all the bees down and in. That was actually one of my best shakes down. That was nice. Okay, they're in this fondant still. Look at that, eating all this hive alive. That's one of my favorite sights to see. All right, get them off. Perfect. So a little feisty just because it's, again, just rained. So 10 minutes to get them out. Perfect. Set them over here. Awesome. Give a little more smoke now. Perfect. Cool. So we'll take this frame, the shim off. Perfect. We'll add our inner cover here. Perfect. See, just a plain old inner cover. So what this does is, with the pollen patties we have on them, with the pollen patties, this gives a little bit of a entrance here. See, like a little shim. So this replaces the shim for them. Perfect. Get this girl off me. There you go. Go back down in. Perfect. Okay. Then we have our sugar syrup here. So this is about a 1-to-1 combination. So again, if you do anything heavier, like 2-to-1, they'll add weight, but I'm trying to stimulate them. So this good old 1-to-1 here will hopefully get them to kind of use it as it comes in. So like hand them out as soon as this, in 2 days they could probably take this whole gallon down. So got that set up. We're gonna put our extra on top right here, just to cover it up. Again, there's no nectar coming, so they'll probably start robbing each other if I don't put this on. So the best thing we can do is cover this whole thing up. So got that, cover that up, put our brick back on. Perfect. And so this is for the big hives now. So for the big hives, we're giving them a full gallon, 2 days, hoping they take it down. Now, if you come over here with me, we'll pause the video and I'll show you, we'll cut over to the small hive and see what we're doing for that. All right, so now we're over here to the little hive. So again, for the big hives, they can take a huge bucket because they have 6, 7, 8 frames of bees. So they can all consume a huge bucket, like 1 gallon in a couple days. So now we're gonna show you here what a small hive looks like. So for our small hives, I'm saying about 2 to 3 frames of bees. They're actually probably in a bigger box than they should be in. But when you have 2 to 3 frames of bees, now we're gonna show you with jar feeders here. So what we're gonna try to do is use a jar feeder and just barely let it trickle feed them. So we're gonna open this up here and show you how we're gonna set this one up with the jar feeder. So first we're gonna open this up here. Look at that, again, smaller cluster here, about 1, 2, maybe 3 frames of bees here. So again, I'm gonna open this up, take these off here, knock them off. Get these out of here. Girls are not going to be happy about me, so give me 1 second here. I'm going to smoke them out. Smoke them just a little bit. Okay, just enough to get them down. Just enough to confuse them. Okay, I gotta get them out of here. Perfect. Set this to the side. Take this off here. As you see, they're buzzing around me. They're definitely not happy. It's getting late. It's dark. They're not happy with my presence here. Who is this guy opening up our home? So awesome. Okay, so everything's off. Okay, now we're gonna smoke them just because with this feeder, it's gonna put the syrup right on top of them. So we don't want that syrup to get on the pollen patty. Let's take a look at it. I'm just curious. Ooh, look at that. See, I'm already nibbling away at his patty, even though they're smaller. Okay, awesome. Put the pollen patty up here. So we'll move it up a little bit here. We're gonna take some of this comb out, put it there. Now again, we're going with this. So this isn't ideal for the situation, but what we're gonna do is give them room for the pollen patty. And as you can see, usually I use the buckets, as you can see the indent here, but now we're gonna use this. So I usually like to trickle it off in front and just put it right on top. So with this, we might have a little bit of escape. If I wanted to, I could really put this on over this to try to eliminate any escape really happening here. It's not doing that good of a job, but I can close that off a little bit. See, close that up a little bit, put this feeder on them. Now what that does is it just allows them a smaller colony just to trickle feed off a little bit of a jar. So instead of pouring on them or having a huge opening, a big gap for the bucket feeder, we have just a couple little holes on it. So then same thing we did last time. Get this out of the way. We're gonna close this up, smaller hive. Tomorrow when it gets in the high 60s, we don't want any of the bees to come in here and try to rob this smaller hive. So we're gonna set them up nice and pretty. That, close them up, and we'll go from there. So again, I recommend if you want to get out, say you're in the northern, like Ohio, Indiana, anything like that. I'm in southern Ohio, so my whole goal is it's been getting up a little bit to the high 40s, 50s, even tomorrow is 60. Again, as you can see the weather. So if you have a couple days, get out there, see if your queen's laying. If your queen is laying pretty good, give them a little bit of pollen sub. As you can see, a 3 or 4 frame size cluster of bees is just nibbling away at that patty. I would be interested in how much brood they have right now. And then give them a little bit of trickle feed of the nectar, build them up a little bit before it gets cold again. They have a mini heater, and then just starts the season early. So again, if you have a couple days, I just recommend you go out there like I'm trying to do here. Just get ahead of the season, extend the season, and go from there. So if you haven't already, take a look right here at my first video I made. It's about the feed and sub, feed and ultra bee sub. So again, I'll leave that right here to the right. In a week, we'll give you an update on how much brood they have. So until then, we'll see you in a week.